How's it going, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Mail and Hobby Talk. We have a couple of topics today I wanted to go over. First, this new changes to the individual awards in the NBA. So regular season awards, they did rename them based on prior players in the NBA. So for example here, you see that the MVP award, the most valuable player award, is now changed to the Michael Jordan Trophy. Defensive Player of the Year changed to the Hakeem Olajuwon Trophy. Not quite sure how I feel about these. I guess in a way they match up with these particular players and maybe what they brought to the table in the NBA. Doesn't make a whole ton of sense to me, but I think this change comes on an announcement that was made earlier this month that there's going to be a new regular season award based upon regular season record at the end of each year or end of each NBA season. So that was previously attributed to Maurice Podoloff. He was on the MVP award, and now they're going to be creating this new award with his name on it instead. They show some pictures of what these awards are going to look like. So here's the Michael Jordan Trophy for MVP. Looks okay, I guess. As you scroll down, these get a little bit weirder, in my opinion at least. Some kind of, I don't know, crystal exterior with the regular trophy in the middle. Had a hobby buddy of mine comment that these look like what a dealership would give out to like the top salesman of the year, which I think is kind of accurate. Not quite sure how I feel about these or about the players' names being associated with the trophies themselves. Let me know what you guys think of these, and we'll just leave it at that. Next topic I wanted to go over today was actually a viewer on my channel had suggested that we go over some more Blowout card forums threads. And I actually just wanted to talk about Blowout cards in general, specifically their card forms. So for those of you not familiar with Blowout cards, they are actually an online distributor of products, so you can buy, basketball, baseball, etc. boxes from them of cards. They also sell, merchandise. But they do have a nice card form section. And a little bit of history on that is there is a popular forum called Hobby Kings back in the day. I think this is mid-2000s, a little bit before my time, but once that one stopped being frequented as much, people came over to Blowout forums, and I want to say it's probably early 2010s after Hobby Kings this became more popular. But really, there's everything under the sun here, and it is really nice to come in here and have a discussion on cards, products, teams, players, etc. And I think it's a little bit better than just posting your photo on Instagram. Now, Facebook, I've heard good things about. Personally, I haven't really used Facebook in a really long time. I had to get off of there because too many political posts from friends. You guys probably know the deal on that. And I just had to get away from that environment. So I did end up joining Blowout Cards, I want to say in 2016 or so, just as a way to discuss something that I was into with other people. We didn't really have the Facebook groups around at that time, and it was a little bit prior to when Instagram blew up more for collectors. But I think what's nice about the forums in general is that we can have long format discussions about things instead of something like Instagram where you're posting a photo, might get 100 likes, you might get a couple people saying, hey, this is a cool set. You don't really get that back and forth with where you'd get on Blowout. And you post that same picture, you could have multiple people talking about the release, multiple people talking about the card design, where it came from. Maybe you post a photo of a card from the 2000s and there's all kinds of crazy sets, and somebody has specific knowledge on that you might not have known. So just to give you an idea, there's for pretty much every sport here it can be talked about, from baseball, basketball, hockey, to vintage cards, to racing, to non-sports. Grading questions. You even have just a hobby talk section for coins and toys and stuff like that. Now, I will say the main ones that people frequent are like the sports ones, right? I myself mostly frequent the basketball section because I'm mostly a basketball collector. We'll just take a look at some of the topics going on today. Some ones I picked out, of course, the Michael Jordan one here, and here's the official NBA season thread where people are just talking about various teams and players and maybe trades that they like to see, or current happenings in the NBA, current happenings in games. Just kind of a fun one for catch-all. This is one that I think is pretty awesome. We'll scroll up to the top here and go back to the beginning. This was created in 2016 to show off gold refractors and prisms. So if you scroll through here, it's just photos of refractors and prisms, all gold, right? So yeah, this one's been pretty frequently updated for years now. And this is actually around the time that I joined Blowout. And I believe I threw up a couple of my own photos on one of these pages. What if we scroll back up and go to the last page here? I had a video that I recently threw up on my channel here on YouTube going over my Nuggets binder. I think we just scrolled past it, and I threw that up in here as well. It's just a really cool place to just throw up some photos and discuss it. And I think outside of like just throwing up your photo on Instagram and getting a couple likes, you can actually have more discussion here. We can still comment on people's cards and say, hey, this is a great looking card, but we can actually figure out where these came from, the rarity of them, things of that nature. Kind of just fun. And then here's another topic as well. People talking about who might be the MVP this year. I think it's a little early to tell. I may be biased a little bit. I want Jokic to win again, but I do think there's a little bit of burnout from people voting and seeing the same player win it year after year. So I'd say his chances are slim unless he puts up numbers that are just astronomical and there's no denying it, right? But anyway, there you go, guys. Just wanted to give a little quick overview of Blowout forums, and I would definitely suggest becoming a member there. And guys, don't listen to the influencers that are out there telling you not to come over to Blowout, because there's just a bunch of get off my lawn type guys just full of negativity. It's really not that. I will say that most of the time they say that because they don't want you to come in here and read the threads about them. We call out a lot of those guys for what they really are. Now, if you do come in there and talk about a Michael Jordan card you bought for $10 at a garage sale and want to ask if it's real, you might want to avoid that at first and go do some research. Some people will give you an answer you probably don't like, but don't be afraid to ask questions. We've probably heard it before. You might get some people that are a little exhausted on a question that maybe have been asked before, so it's always good to do your research at first. But even if you get a response initially from a get off my lawn guy, somebody will inevitably come along to actually answer that question for you. There's a lot of knowledgeable people on here. Really great resource. So check it out. And it's time once again for everyone's favorite things that happen in the junkslabera. And while we're talking about blowout forums, we got this great post from 2021. And I quote, NFTs are to the world what the internet was to the world 20 years ago. Yes, we're going to compare the invention of the internet to NFTs. Didn't really work out that way. Hopefully you didn't get caught up in the whole NFT thing. If you did, I'm sorry. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into some mail. And I got some pretty interesting ones for you today. I actually have mostly non-sports cards here. So I did pick up these set of flag cards. These are from 1911. And for those who are not familiar with, the early cards, they did come out of tobacco products, so cigarette packs. A lot of the most valuable baseball cards coming out of sets like these. But these ones came out of the Recruit little cigar packs, and they're just flags of various nations. I thought they were pretty cool. I think I got all these for $15 or so. We can take a look through a couple of them. Just kind of unique, the fact that these are over 100 years old is pretty neat too. But yeah, there you go. That's a little recent pickup of mine. Been going after a little bit of non-sports just in general because I'm getting a little burnout on sports, and from time to time that will happen for me, so I just start chasing something new. These are cards from the early 1910s as well. I don't know the exact date that these came out, but again, these are out of cigarette packs. They're more like regular size cards, but these are the Indian cards. And so they're just different scenes, Native Americans, Indians, just showing various buffalo dance, horse racing, gambling. So pretty cool. We've got some more non-sports here as well. These are some Wild West cards. These came out in the late 30s, I believe, and depicted some cowboy type imagery there, or Wild West imagery. I think I got two of those there. Then we've got these Horrors of War cards. They came out in the late 30s. Pretty interesting set of cards. These are the first ones I've owned of these, and they did go over just various battles and things, and some of them are kind of even gory as well. Just interesting cards. I did want to just pick them up to, oh yeah, there you go, 1938, just to check out what they look like. I may be trying for more of these eventually, and maybe even go after a set, you never know. And I got some Three Stooges cards. This was kind of big for me back in the day with my grandparents, even my parents. We would watch these over at their place. These came out in the 50s, I want to say. What is the date on here? 59, yeah. So these released in 59. I just think they took stills from some of the episodes. They may have even taken these pictures just to have photography of a scene or something like that. I'm not quite sure if they took it from the actual show or not. They could just be staged photos of various scenes in the shows, but kind of cool cards there. I do have this 49, is it 49 Bowman? Yeah, of Bobby Thompson that I got for under $3. Those of you who don't know him, he was the shot that was heard around the world. It was at the 51 pennant that he won, basically having a hit that sealed that win for them. Look it up. But yeah, cool card. When do you pick up a card like that for $3? Grab that one. It was in the same listing as a lot of those non-sports ones. Got this one from a Instagram member, Card Guru, the Card Guru. Never seen one of these before, or owned one. This is probably the only sports card one on the list here today. This one came from 0506 SP Game Used, and it's numbered out of 50 with that cool holofoil of Carmelo Anthony. Really like that one. And then I got a couple of these He-Man cards, or Masters of the Universe cards. Now, I do collect Masters of the Universe cards from back in the 80s through even today. Probably go over that binder. I do have a bunch of binders of them that I put together sets and things like that. So Panini had like a set back in the early 80s with sticker cards. You could put them in like a sticker album. But these ones are actually from the Masters of the Universe movie that came out in the late 80s. And it's by the concept design artist William Stout. So I've showed off these before. These are ones that I needed. And he had like various sets that came out. I think there was William Stout 1 through 3. And so these span those sets. This might even actually be from William Stout 3. I think 2 or 3, but ones I needed. And this is also from that same set, that William Stout set. This is, if you look at it, like more of this atomic refractor design, as they were calling it like in the 90s with sports cards, but it's from the William Stout set, and it actually features, a character or a character design from the Masters of the Universe movie that he was involved with. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I got 2 Garbage Pail Kids today. Got these for cheapish to add to my graded card collection of Garbage Pail Kids. I do have a full video on that whole collection, so I suggest you check that out if you have a chance. But yeah, we got Leaky Lindsay, and I believe this is Series 2. Thought that one's kind of cool. And then this Toothy Ruthie. I want to say this is like Series 4 or something. But I definitely remember with this one back in the day. Same with these. I pick up graded cards on occasion of cards that I remember collecting as a kid. But yeah, guys, that's mail for this week, and thanks for tuning in to this episode, and I will catch you on the next one.